Oh boy, man, it feels like it's been at least 7 months. I mean, that couldn't be real though, right? It's not as if we recorded like 2 or 3 different ones and then our schedules didn't line up and everything else.
Time is an illusion, folks.
Time in a bottle. Look forward to the Christmas one shot next Christmas.
And it will be out by then. I can guarantee you that.
Hell yeah.
I'm not going to make any promises. It's all up to you.
That's true. It is all up to
He
me.
is the boss. He is the boss.
I'm not the boss.
He's our boss.
Nobody's paycheck is coming from me.
It's coming from Brazil for me.
Whoa. Okay. All right. BBL.
What's going on in
Drizzy.
Brazil?
BBL Drizzy.
Dun, 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 dun.
L Drake. BBL L Drake. You don't like that one?
No,
I love that one. That's
Okay.
fun.
I sent it
Little-
100
little light
times.
and jazzy. Very fun.
Welcome everybody. It's been a long time, huh? Well,
Yeah.
we're back.
Crazy.
We're back.
I lost all my hair in the interim. Someone stole it, like a gnome or something.
Oh shit, that's so true. You have
Wait,
full
you
ball.
weren't shaved before?
No,
That's
No.
crazy.
hasn't it been so long?
I can hardly
I don't know.
remember it.
I think I wasn't working either. Now I'm working a job again,
Yeah.
like a big boy.
Yeah. Pretty fun.
Got money coming in, money
Ooh.
going out. That happens even if you don't have a job.
It's true.
But-
It's true.
Yeah,
Why would you look at me when you said that?
I didn't mean any intention behind that at
Oh,
all.
okay,
I
okay.
didn't
Yeah.
even double think that.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, but people who have jobs would know what I'm talking about.
Me.
Yeah, like Riley.
I love job.
You don't have to convince me. I'm not your manager.
This isn't a performance review, not
yeah.
yet anyway.
Yeah, my ass will never do a performance review. I'll go, "How you guys doing? Good, great," and then
Great,
I'll just give you
great.
your money.
No, all you seem to be alive.
Yep, still
Great.
recording. All right, well here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Lots happened. I don't know what's the most. Well, I do know what the most important one is, but we can't talk about that. YouTube does not like it when we talk about that.
We
one.
can skip that one. That's
Yeah.
for the more credible people like Hassan or something.
Yeah, or like
He's better at
Sam
that.
Cedar
Or Brace Belden to make weird conspiracy theories out of.
or Noah Colwyn
Yeah.
and
Blowback season 5
Brendan
coming
James.
out in July.
Isn't it about Cambodia?
It is my
Yeah.
favorite subject to
Really?
read when I'm want to be sad.
Yeah,
That's-
I've never read it.
I've never gotten the notion of reading something just to be said.
I do it all the time.
I do
I have a
that-
diseased brain.
Season 1, the Iraq War, that one gets me a lot. That one makes me the saddest.
That one,
by far.
yeah, does make me the maddest because it's one of those things where, wow, geez, we just kind of like lied our way through. Everyone knew it was a lie for ages, and we
And they
didn't.
got away with it.
Yeah, they got away with it.
And
But you know who didn't get away with it, Chase? Our first news item.
oh man, okay.
Kristi Noem,
Oh yeah. So
the front runner for the Republican National Convention vice president. That's right, Kristi Noem. Mean Kristi. Folks, she's putting out a book, folks. Kristi's written a book, or at least she's had somebody else ghostwrite a book. I don't believe Kristi.
I don't think
Noem
she's
can
written
actually
a
write.
book.
No, I don't think
I
she's.
don't-
I don't think she's literate.
I don't think she can read. Yeah.
It's not being misogynist. I think that Kristi Noem
I am.
specifically doesn't know how to read. Because if she knew how to read, she might not literally have written down in her book explicitly a graphic description of how she murdered a puppy,
Ooh,
She-
yeah.
executed a puppy with a in a gravel pit. The most unhinged shit I've ever heard anyone say.
because it wasn't a good hunting dog.
It was literally
It-
under a year old, right?
It wasn't
under,
like
it was under a year old, I believe.
it was
like
over a year old,
oh, it
but
was a year and a half.
pointers, much like Bouviers, don't.
What'd you call me?
Bouvier de Flanders are a type of dogs who
Okay.
don't really mature until they're about 2 years old.
I'll let that one
A
slide.
lot of dogs,
Yeah.
a lot of larger dogs go through an extended adolescent and growing period, and pointers are one of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't get mature until they're about 2 years old, and this was only like a 15-month-year-old puppy, which is a weird thing to say, but it's not a human. right? That's not how these things work.
Yeah.
They don't do like 1, 2, 3 years old. They have way different growing cycles per breed.
Well, why would you? Okay. First things first.
Yeah.
She's rich. She lives in a McMansion.
Yeah, on a ranch.
So-
it's not a farm, it's
Yeah.
a ranch.
So-
People keep calling it a farm. It's a fucking ranch.
So why would you even feel the need to execute a dog that doesn't hunt when you're on like 100 acres of land in a McMansion?
I have two thoughts about this. She keeps making the excuse that it's a bad hunting dog, but like the way poor people, and by poor people I mean like middle class and lower people who use hunting dogs.
It's me.
Does she?
I don't use
me.
hunting dogs. I don't use hunting dogs.
I wouldn't use hunting dogs now.
Yeah.
It's a very fucked up practice.
I don't
like it. Some people will say, "Oh, it's a bad hunting dog," but then they'll just like not use it for hunting and just like put it in the house or gift the dog to someone else, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Like you don't
You don't have to
blow
put
a
it down.
dog's f***ing brains out. Like if it's a rabid dog that is killing people, okay, you might be like, okay, I got to kill the dog to protect someone, but this is not
Yeah.
that. It is a puppy, right? Notably, it seems to have been a puppy that isn't like socialized very well.
Yeah.
because
Like
they're
you
they're
have
rich
not
and they don't
taken
treat
the
you.
time to make it given an aversion to biting people. Basically, tell it to like how to play.
Yeah.
Well, even
Because like either you are keeping it around like adult dogs who also don't know how to play, so it's learning and socializing with those dogs differently, or you just don't know how to fucking train it at all, which a lot of conservatives don't know how to train.
you
dogs.
want to hear my railroad take right now that might railroad it for a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, I've been going on walks every morning, just try to get more in shape, a little bit more fit.
Okay.
And every
We see
single time
we see you.
I
King.
walk by a house that has a dog in it or a dog inside the house, I think to myself, humans should not own this animal.
Why is that?
I feel like, because if there wasn't a barrier in between me and that dog would ream me.
I get what you're saying.
It depends.
I guess I get what you're saying. Yeah.
If there was not a physical barrier via a fence or a door, or if there wasn't a mental barrier being their owner right beside them, they would go after me because they're not properly raised.
I would say that is in some cases true. In some cases, the dogs they're barking because they want you away from what they see as your territory. And if you were to take that barrier away, they would just kind of like just walk away from you because they don't want to be
Yeah.
around you or whatever.
Yeah.
I saw there was a hold on, this is another. There was
yeah,
a
yeah.
dog literally my size. I am 5'4". I'm
yeah,
looking
yeah.
at
So
the
dog.
fence. He's not on his legs. He's 5'4", and I'm just like, this is insane.
So was
Why are
that like a
you-
Chihuahua maybe?
Yeah, it was like a Chihuahua or like a
beagle?
maybe a wiener dog.
Yeah. Oh. Oh yeah.
But it's
Imagine if it
was
not like a not
It
like
was
a
like
wiener
a-
dog with long legs.
Yeah.
Same proportions, just 5'4".
It was like a fucking Bjorzi or whatever they're called.
Borzoi.
Borzoi
Yeah,
mixed with
hunting dog.
a fucking boxer. I'm like, what is this dog? We shouldn't be making this.
I think that in that case, that's just a mixed breed dog, and that they're just really weird. Borzois and boxers are very weird, nervous energy type of things that don't really attack all that often.
That's me.
But anyway,
I got weird
you
nervous
go back
energy.
to it. That's just my take.
we can circle back around to the
every
stuff that
time I
have.
see one and I see them going at that door, like the tiny ones, I'm like, okay, I get it. They even if they came at me, I could kick it off,
Yeah, you can punt those
But like
motherfuckers out.
anything medium sized, I'm like, you're insane
Okay,
for owning this.
I have a crazy take. Now I know this is crazy. But me versus a dog, I'm winning every time. I don't care what dog it is. I'm winning every time. Like look, maybe it's because I played Modern Warfare 2 when I was too young. I played the campaign too young. You know, when you're sneaking through the Arctic and then the German Shepherd jumps on you and you got to hit X and then you snap its neck. But like the whole time I've grown up and been alive, I've never really been scared of a dog. I've been scared of it biting me because I'm like, I don't want to get bitten.
That would hurt a lot.
Yeah, but I'm not like scared of a dog. It's kind of like
I'm
crabs.
scared of the confrontation.
It's kind of like crabs. You know how crabs will like come up to you and you're like, don't pinch me. Don't do it. And then they like walk up to you and
Like
you're like,
geese.
and you're like, yeah.
Yeah,
When they
yeah,
come
yeah.
up hissing at you.
You don't want to.
Their heads down.
I would say that it's
Like
like it's
wiggle
mostly
towards
that
you?
like dogs that are like really, really, really crazy dangerous are like very few and far between because
Yeah.
like we've had for a long time. Well, I mean, they're just very well socialized and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like killer dogs aren't usually a thing. It's usually a thing when like you haven't socialized this dog well, or it's abused or something like that. Like dogs don't normally go out of their way to attack, which makes Christy Gnome's, assertion that this dog is like an unhinged beast more insane, because again, this is a dog that's like comes up to like right here on like a normal person. Like,
Wait, I thought you said it was a hunting one. I thought, aren't they like the beagles or whatever? No, it wasn't a beagle.
German pointer. It's like
Pointer.
Okay, yeah, you said that earlier. I don't know why I
imagine
wasn't-
Like for duck hunting.
a
and
little
bird
bit
hunting.
like they're a bit taller than like beagles. They have like very shaggy fur. They're very beautiful dogs. They're very cute, very nice. But like they're very easy to train, but you have to actually sit down and train them.
He likes dogs.
I've raised a lot of dogs.
Yeah, see, I'm just not a dog guy. I don't know why.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, I know, but you're like, it's beautiful. I'm like, I've never
They,
looked at a
they
dog.
scare me
You think dogs scare
a
you?
little bit, yeah.
Because they're loud?
Not because they're dangerous. I think because
Like,
if they
they'll
bite me,
chomp you?
it's not like if a pet cat claws me, it's like ow, ooh, ow. But if a dog,
I'm the opposite. If a cat claws me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to go to the hospital. Because I'm like, they're going to give me cat scratch fever.
just wash your arm.
You can, but if it gets in your bloodstream, you're cooked. Like, you just get sick. Like,
Nah.
and you could die. Like, that's like,
Yeah.
I mean, dogs are gross too, but like, usually they're a little bit.
I think it's the size. I think it's a size factor.
Yeah. I mean, if we had domesticated bears, I'd still be a little scared of bears. I'd be like, okay, get that thing away from me.
I think it's just because like so many dogs are just bad in America because like people view dogs as toys or decorations.
We literally, right before we came here, I saw a girl or a guy, I don't know how they identify, walking their dog, and they literally just let it shit and then didn't pick it up and walked away.
Yeah,
I was going to say something to you guys, but I was like, no, if I say something, I'll be really heated.
I saw that at the beach. I was at the beach, and this girl has
You
this
drop
big old
the
dog.
the dog just dropping a huge shit on the
Yeah,
beach,
right
and then the
next to
sand
me.
buries the turd, and then you step on the turd that's
doesn't
buried
even
in the
bury
sand.
it. Doesn't even bury it. There's just a turd sitting out now, and the owner looks at it, and they look at me. They don't even like say hi to me.
We're in
They're
a,
just like this.
this is a city.
Don't snitch.
This is a fucking city.
Yeah.
Like,
Why would you do that?
there's poop on the sidewalk because of you.
We're in D.C. right now, and there's just dogs everywhere pooping on the sidewalk.
There's a article that people dunked on ages ago that was like dog owners are colonialists, and it's a ridiculous statement on its face, but their point was like you take a neighborhood that didn't have like a lot of these fancier dogs, or if someone owned a dog they're a bit more responsible for it, but like the minute you get like some white guy tech douchebag who
Yeah.
owns like a Great Dane or something like that, that dog's gonna be that dog is a shitting machine.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
let him cook.
Fucking turds
Yeah.
the size of your fucking face, right?
Yeah.
Just plopping on the fucking sidewalk whenever the hell he's walking it, and he's not picking it up. Suddenly you got dog turds everywhere. You got like stuff that's ruining everything. You're
Yeah.
ripping up parks and shit like that to make dog parks for these people, and suddenly there's a huge problem with dogs running around off the leash out of the goddamn place. It changes what you have to think about, and the math that you have to do when you're walking as pedestrian is like, I didn't have to worry about some fucking moron tech doofus with a sit-at-home job
Yeah.
walking his dog that is poorly trained off his leash before, and now I do. I didn't have to walk down the damn street looking for dog shit when I turn the corner down a shaded tree heavy sidewalk space, but now I do. I don't agree fully that it's like dogs are the sign of the end for a neighborhood.
Oh, no, I agree
because
now.
people always vote dogs.
He's converted
No,
me.
I do think it's
But
the thing that's like
I understand the sentiment.
in the same way I don't think that Starbucks like ruins your like I don't think it ruins society as a whole to have a coffee shop put into a place. But the way that Starbucks does it gentrifies areas drastically and changes the entire vibe of an entire community pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I do think that like that vibe of like being pestered so much by like now I got to rethink how to walk on a sidewalk. Like that added anxiety. I understand that.
Yeah.
And then you also have to think, well, then community funding, they need dog baggies that are on like telephone poles or
Yeah.
little stands that
Or
you
like
can throw
little more
away
trash cans bolted into the ground
just
so that
for
people
dog poop.
can throw shit or their way, or like more street cleaning so that you're not just having like brown stains on your nice fucking sidewalk that like a
don't-
month ago is where some giant dog took a huge shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that dogs are bad for communities, but I do think that
I think that how we view dogs
Yeah.
and how we view responsibility of pets has changed drastically
yeah,
very fast.
yeah, it is.
Like wildly fast.
I know too many people that were like, "Yeah, I was sad, so I bought a cat,
I think there are
Or like I
too
was
many,
sad, so I bought a dog.
a dog."
Like
I got a breakup.
That
I had a breakup,
or
and I got a dog as a pet.
or a very
That-
notoriously
yeah,
difficult
stressful.
to control dog.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
So
the amount of people that I know of that over like the pandemic bought like Australian healers, which are like very, very high energy, very hyperactive, very destructive
All
if
I'm
they're
saying-
bored dogs.
you're saying these
Crazy.
You're saying this, these names for dogs, and I'm like checking my catalog, and it's coming back empty.
Yeah, they're like
I have
little.
no
They're
idea.
tiny. Imagine
Okay.
tiny beagle-sized dogs with like these very beautiful gray and white spotted coats.
Okay.
Very pretty dogs. Super
Okay.
hyperactive. They will tear the shit out of your house
Like,
if
what-
they aren't well trained
what's
and
up-
they aren't well worked.
What's up with the mastiffs? What's up with those?
Traditionally, very good dogs.
Okay. That's
They,
what I-
but they're like any other big dog. They're a work dog first and foremost. So you need activity. You need to walk them a lot. They need to be very well socialized. They need to be around people and stuff like that. They're going to get very defensive unless you socialize them. In which case, they're like, "Oh, cool, another human,
yeah.
ballin'.
no,
I love
I'm thinking
humans."
Yeah.
And people hate doing that. They hate socializing dogs because they don't trust other people.
It's a big time sink.
It's a huge time sink.
Yeah.
millennials and Gen Z think that they can take care of an animal when they can't even take care of their own mental health.
Holy shit. That's
Honestly,
Thank you.
I don't
Thank
want
you.
to.
holy shit. Andrew Tate.
I know
Thank
that
you,
that is
thank
a
you.
that's a very
Holy
trite
shit, bro.
observation, but it is kind of true
You-
in a sense.
Yes,
What would we
I can
do
shave my
without
head if you
men?
want.
What would we do without men?
Oh, well, I have to be the alpha.
Excelsior! Women!
Clean your room.
using cats and dogs as a replacement for children. The West is fallen.
That's Jordan Peterson if he had a take that was somehow coherent in any way.
It's more. I need to add more stuff about like lobsters
Yeah.
and like
No.
The fall of Byzantium was triggered by too many cats or some
I played
crazy shit like
Byzantine
that.
Empire in Civilization. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what that word means.
Holy. How'd you do?
Alexander the
Oh,
Great.
I know. I hated that game.
Oh,
That's
I
fair.
just didn't know if you.
I just
good
thought it
or
was
not.
very fun to lose the early game in a co-op match, and then Elliot would get mad at me every time. It was very fun.
I remember that.
Oh
as
no, the co-op in this game lends to be forcing someone out instantly and them not having any fun because they can't play anymore. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like Risk. It's literally Risk.
It's kind of why I like smaller board games like
Yeah.
Root, because it's like they're a lot quicker to run and they don't take like 20 fucking hours to do.
Oh,
I
yeah.
sunk maybe 200 hours into Civilization, and then I was like, what am I doing with my life?
I like Civilization as a time sink, but that's just kind of like
Yeah, I do too.
I can like watch like a movie or something
I do
and
too,
like
but
kind
I
of just
play
play Civilization passively or whatever.
Yeah.
And I enjoy those 4X games, but I wouldn't say that they're good in a traditional sense. Like it's harder to recommend them over everything else.
Well, yeah, I guess
You know what
we're-
else is hard to recommend?
Well, I was about to say because we're going off the path from somebody the brains of a pure innocent animal who's just in the
Yeah.
prime of its life in a gravel pit.
Yeah. I mean,
not just prime of its life.
Well,
You
just-
can correct a dog
well,
pretty easily. It takes time, but you can do it.
it's even darker to me because it's like it's like the argument of like, now this is going very niche, but like let's say you have an argument against abortion. I don't agree. I don't think scientifically it's true, but if you believe that life starts at conception,
Yeah.
it's worse to kill a child than it is to kill a fetus. You would agree. The
Yeah, I
child
would
lives
traditionally
life,
say that that's correct.
it
it's
learns
here.
something.
It's
what
learning.
That's what she did. She took a beat. I don't think the gravity.
Well,
of
no.
the situation-
You don't understand that right-wing weirdos they literally do not consider animals as other living beings, equating to like a human life.
They don't.
I understand
I don't
that,
believe that
but-
right-leaning people consider anything that is not them good, or they don't. They
That's
don't care about any of
cognizant.
those things truly. They care about like. They do the mental gymnastics of, if it was my child, would I want it to be aborted? And then they stop, and it terminates, right?
Yeah.
Like they don't think about anything else. It is a complete, immediate, terminating thought cliche.
So, I understand it, and I'm not talking to them. I'm talking to us. I'm talking to the normal people in the room that aren't like super right leaning. Like, it is, or just right leaning in general.
Yeah.
It is like it is so weird to me that the news is like portraying it as kind of like a story and not like she is horrific. Like that's,
I've seen a lot of
that's a
people portray
horrific
it, but
thing.
like so many of the major ones, they're very. The only one that I remember is Rolling Stone being
Yeah.
like, Christy Nome brags about executing puppy in gravel pit. Like, is the
Yeah.
most explicit one that I saw, and they do this very every other news did this very circuitous route to getting to the fact that what she was a puppy and not just like a dog that was misbehaving. They're like, they take her word for it first, and then they eventually, after 3 or so paragraphs, circle back around to telling you that she
I just don't
and
even.
then she her goat the same day.
Yeah, but like, I don't even
She was
get.
seeing red, and she's like, yes, the power of ending a life. There's another inconvenience on
having
the
a bad
farm. I'm
day?
here to kill it.
She has-
Was she
No, I
having a
just think
bad
that
day?
she just wanted to.
Like, I just
she
don't-
realized suddenly I
Yeah,
have
but it doesn't even-
I can kill whatever I want.
Even-
Goats, your time is not.
Even if like
she didn't
you
want
had,
a goat anymore, so she killed a goat.
if you had the dog and you couldn't like if it was uncorrectable,
Which is
like
not
it's like yeah,
Typically
I'm
not
saying
true.
like I'm saying like
Especially not for the breed.
if that's like the case, like it's still not okay to just blow its.
It's like the terminal is like usually rabies, right? That's usually like
Yeah.
the very last thing. Like extreme cases of abuse, you might put that dog down because it's like, this dog is insane now.
Yeah.
You've given this dog the dog equivalent of schizophrenia.
Yeah.
It is incapable of existing.
Yeah.
It can't exist, or it cannot. It is a danger to itself and other things
because it's
too far gone.
incapable of unlearning those habits.
It's been way
Yeah.
too long. It's been abused
Yeah.
for too long. End it, right?
Yeah.
But you can rehome dogs from some of the most extreme shit imaginable. There's like entire charities who rescue dogs from like dog fighting rings or like dog abuse rings or greyhounds from racing, right?
Right.
And those dogs can be retrained. Like, you know, there's this big story that I saw that was like very big sob story or whatever. After this one big racetrack in Britain got shut down, there's like 30 or 40 racing dogs suddenly that need to be adopted. And this guy adopts one of the dogs and is like, yeah, you know, it was a 6-year-old dog, had a lot of health complications, but for like 6 years I took care of the dog after that. And like, you know, it took a long time for her to calm down and get retrained, but it was worth it. The dog was fine. It's like, they can bounce back. They're pretty resilient animals. They can
Yeah.
bounce back from shit like that. So to not just the fact that, Christy Nome decided it was too much work to deal with this dog. She just kind of threw it away like it was a piece of garbage. She saw it not as a dog or a thing that she's responsible for. She saw it as like a toy, a tool. It's a thing. It is a piece of garbage that can be simply thrown away.
I feel like
it doesn't work.
it's
the
her
way
property.
I want
I
it.
feel like anybody
I'll
who
destroy it with a hammer or a gun.
like
in this case.
is that mindset, they literally just see things as objects, not even like toys, because they have more respect for things that they own and like use. But as soon as it loses a purpose to them that is useful, it's just no longer even like worthy of existing, which is like insane.
So-
it's literally like some sort of like derangement, I think.
So do you think that there was a reason she put this in the book? Do you think she was trying to appeal to like the backwoods, like Appalachia, like if a dog don't hunt, you got to put it down?
So
Or
like,
do you think she's just nuts enough to think that was like a cute story to put in?
she is a very weird freak.
Yeah.
as a lot of Republicans are, right? Deeply disturbed, deeply deranged freaks,
Right.
Who are just not very sociable. Like they have no social wisdom. They just have money, and they've been put in power because there's like, I think she's one of the Dakotas. I believe it's South Dakota. I could look that up
For
very
her?
quickly. Yeah, for her.
I think it's South Dakota as well.
And you don't really got to do a whole lot to get elected the governor in those types of places. They're hard swing Republican states because nobody lives there.
So do you think
Yeah,
they're like
South-
not human?
South Dakota.
I believe they're
Governor
human. I
Kristi
just
Noem.
believe that they're very disconnected from everyone around them. There's
Yeah.
no one there that is telling Kristi Noem this is not a normal thing to put
No,
in your
I meant
book.
this in like.
Do you think it's
'cause
like
I think
Chewbacca?
no. I'm thinking like.
I mean, not Chewbacca.
But
sorry,
what is a human?
Chupacabra.
But like how they interact and like how we exist socially within like with one another, right? So it's like as soon as you are devoid of having empathy for like other living beings and animals and like finding like I don't know beauty in life or something like that, something akin to that nature.
Something is blown
Like
out.
you are. I don't know if you're like actually a person anymore. Like there's something wrong.
I think
There's a Japanese
that's-
philosopher that had something to say on that. He committed seppuku inside of the Japanese state house.
Ooh,
I think
I should do that.
I think that's an interesting.
It's up there.
I think that it's an
Antonio, bleep
interesting. Please bleep that one. I think that is that against the law.
I think so. Antonio, bleep that.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so
sorry, I got stuck on that one.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was gonna say I think that's an interesting philosophical question. But I think my rebuttal to it is if water changes state, does that change does that change what it is in itself? Like if it goes from a liquid to a solid or to a gaseous state.
no, technically not. I think that they're human. They have
Yeah.
human wants and needs. I don't believe that she is like a total psychopath necessarily. But unless you're
Yeah.
like, it's just that when you're a conservative for long enough, when you have those and I'm not talking like, oh, I don't want to pay like taxes. I don't think that we should be, expanding the rail line because that'll include more taxes. Normal ass YIMBY conservative, right?
Yeah.
Or NIMBY conservative,
Yeah, I
or
was about to
whatever.
say it's definitely not Yimby.
Yeah, very NIMBY-ish. More taxes. The roads. Gesticulating. No, I'm talking like Mexicans aren't human type conservative. Really super hard right conservatism
Yeah.
that she is boiled in. You lose. Again, no one's around to tell you, hey, this is freak shit. You can't
Yeah,
say that.
yeah,
right? That's normal human beings do not talk about things like this. Hey, normal humans are going to find it repellent that you killed a puppy. That you lose your sense of self. You lose any idea of how to look at another person and say, is this weird to say that?
Does a person like that, now this is a case study, does a person like that still have normal human emotions at that point too? Because I would
That's
argue,
the thing.
I, would
I
argue
don't
no.
think that they do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had this. I was gonna.
I don't think they could love their significant other. You know what I mean? Like at that point, I think,
I think
you're like
that it's a love, but it's like it's
muted?
still very much a like very utilitarian kind of. This person
gotcha.
is still giving me something, and the second that they're not giving me something, my
Well-
love is going to fade for them.
This kind of
Yeah.
goes back to the thing. I was talking to somebody online a few days ago, and they were talking like, yeah, my girlfriend's uncle died, right? And I had to comfort her, but the entire time it felt like I wasn't really comforting her because I work in like the EMT industry. And so I was saying, I'm saying stuff that like doesn't mean anything to me, and I feel nothing for it. I'm not I'm like, I don't feel
Yeah.
like I'm comforting her. And he's like complaining about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm a little maladjusted too, and I feel the same way, but you're kind of being crazy about it. Like you're doing everything you
dude.
can.
Like, what do you-
like? You're better than 100%, like 99.9% of people if you're already thinking
In
to
that
yourself,
field. In that
like
field
if you're
especially.
already thinking to yourself, like I don't feel like I'm giving them proper, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
like,
realize
if you're
you're not.
saying, "Oh, it's such a chore that I have to comfort them." No, if you're saying, "I feel like I'm not doing good enough at comforting them," that's a bit better
Yeah.
than everyone else. Like you're still feeling a sense of regret of like, "Damn, did I do enough?" This person
like-
that I care about was upset and in a very vulnerable state.
Yeah.
was I doing enough? That the question of, damn, I'm not certain I was doing enough, is a more deeply compassionate way to think about that, even if you
Yeah.
What
that's
else
a
are you gonna say?
self-reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's just things you can say and things you can't say, and it's just like sometimes like what else are you going to say other than that, like, you know, something like you'll be there or something. And he's like, I said this, but it feels so disingenuous because I say it to everybody. I'm like, if you think that, you're better than everybody else. Like you're just better than
Like,
anybody who
you're
doesn't.
still there's still a thought. You're still trying to be considerate in that moment and in that line of thought, right?
Look, I'm gonna talk about this because I talked about this specific scenario with my therapist at one point. Because my therapist thinks that I have very good self-reflection, and in the terms of in his exact words, I'm probably the most capable of self-reflection out of any person he's ever had go to him for therapy. And I said, thanks, I guess. I don't know how to respond to that. And he goes, well, it's not like a superpower. It's like a honed thing. And some people, you know, he doesn't believe in like in nature versus nurture. He doesn't believe that like nature is very common of a thing that happens for people to go to therapy or for people to get help mentally. So he thinks that nurturing is the main thing. He thinks that when people go awry or like something comes up where they end up leading them down a path where, let's say, I don't know, let's make up a crazy scenario where they shoot a 1-year-old dog in the head in a gravel pit. That type of self-reflection.
That's a crazy situation. That would never happen.
Just to pretend.
Just spitballing here.
Yeah, but
No relation to events in real life.
in a scenario like that, I would instantly feel guilt. And I would instantly go, I just did something bad and I have to wrestle with that. People who don't get told to flex that muscle, to use that muscle to self-reflect, he said they oftentimes are the people who live their entire life like there's no fixing them. He's like, and that's like that's a sad thing to think about, that people who are on that path where they're doing things like that, there's no cure. There's no cure for it. There's no, because they've already missed. It's funny because why she that dog is the same reason she's messed up in the head, because she couldn't learn. At past a certain age, it was done. She's cooked.
Yeah, like
That's crazy.
She just doesn't have the thought of like yeah, like I guess that was kind of what I was trying to say in a sense. It goes beyond just like, oh, there's not anybody around to like tell you, hey, that's kind of up. It's also that if someone did say, maybe leave the dog murder out of the book, she would still probably insist, no, this is an important thing to show
This
that
is
I'm
something that
I'm a hard ass politician that does the hard things.
thing-
Sometimes you got to do the hard work.
Sometimes you gotta kill an infant child in your bare hands.
It's crazier when you think that she was
Squeeze the
literally
life out
doing
of
that as a metaphor. It had nothing to do with what she was talking about in that chapter of the book. She's just like, yeah, politically, you got to sometimes let everybody know that you're the mom, that you're in charge, that you got to do the hard stuff. You got to get your hands dirty. Like this one time, I brutally dog like it was Pop Smoke.
Ooh.
I took the gun, I put the heater to it. I was like, I'm him. The last thing the dog saw was the Givenchy gloves, the price tag on it. The dog faded in the darkness and let the archangels take it.
Look, man. Look.
Actually, dogs don't have souls. They don't go to
That's
heaven.
true. That's
Look,
true. Gnosticism would say that
also-
animals have no souls.
Also, I will say, Pop Smoke was robbed for jewelry. He wasn't, because he couldn't learn past the age of 1. There is a difference here. And Pop Smoke had a bunch of hit records. That dog probably couldn't even make music.
My take is it's probably more reprehensible a dog than Pop Smoke.
Okay, all right.
Hold on. Give me a second. If he was robbed for jewelry,
Okay.
there's a societal wrong happening in order to make the person steal his jewelry. But there's no societal wrong happening for a woman to kill her dog in cold blood.
Okay, we're gonna try to ignore any of those underlatent Nazi-like tendencies to talk about the
Okay.
of a man.
Oh no, not Nazi.
Yeah.
Not Nazi. I meant in social wrongs is in the amount of wealth in society.
Well, I know what you're saying. No, I know what you're saying.
No, Don't get it twisted. It's not because of Nazis.
He was doing a materialism bit. He was
Yes.
talking about materialism. And
A man's entitled to the sweat of his brow.
Okay. All right. You saved yourself.
Thank you.
All right.
The Maoists are back. They're back on your
But
side.
again, she also the goat.
Yeah, why?
I don't know why she goat. She was in a blood rage. She's like, I have unlimited power. Sometimes you got to do it right. You got to dog, and then you realize that now that you have a gun in your hand, the goat is also up for grabs. It's time for a double.
Yo,
So there was literally no reason in the book why she killed the goat.
No, she was
That's
just like,
insane.
I always hated that goat. And she was like, the goat was very ornery, and sometimes it would headbutt my leg when it was hungry. It's like, it's a goat. That's what it does. Did you buy a goat and not know the price tag?
Sorry, Billy. You're gonna
just
die.
she's just like,
Sorry, goat. You've
just like-
headbutted me for the last time.
she's just like, dude, I don't know what's up with this goat.
The goat
It
was
doesn't
very
swim.
ornery and mean.
It doesn't swim. It's not able to do math. It's not able. I just don't
It
understand.
hasn't
what's
done
going
my
on.
taxes.
It's
It
not
can't
smooth.
post on Truth Social about how I'm a cool badass. What use is the goat to me?
See, I was doing the bit where she thought she bought a dolphin, but she bought a goat instead. It can't do language. It can't go past
I
the
can't
language
teach it
barrier.
math, you know?
I can't teach it math.
It doesn't have a cave specifically designed.
Okay, all right. Too far in the dolphin lore.
Ratchet it back. Ratchet it back.
Oh, okay, my
But
bad.
yeah, what a psycho. And I say that word with full intent. Like, what? That's insane. She needs to
She
be
might
medicated.
be
Yeah, I
a
don't get it.
psychopath. I don't know because she didn't like back down. She literally was like, the
Imagine
dog was
a
a
goat.
the dog was a danger
Such
to
an
my
obscure
kids.
animal.
Well, no.
It's like an elephant.
No,
If you
people
told me
eat
to
goats
kill-
all the time.
No.
I get like, but that's
No,
not
Oh, you're
what
not eating the
No.
goat.
No,
she didn't
Shay-
want to eat
Shay-
the goat.
he specifically just said. Imagine a goat. I'm sure a lot of people.
I mean, imagine killing a cow that you raised, though. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's
I
a
know-
little. Yeah.
All right,
know-
but when you do that, you're at least trying to like give it a sense of dignity. Even like people who like regularly eat goat meat, it's like it's halal. You kill it in a dignified manner that's not
Yeah.
making undue suffering. No, she just kind of pulled out a gat. It was like, "Fuck you, bitch," gah, and just killed the goat.
I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah, and
how-
you know she's a terrible shot, and it was sitting there suffering.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
In the book, she states that she shot the goat once, didn't kill it, thought about it, literally paused and was like, two times the charm, and then killed it, and then shot it in the face. It took her 2 shots to kill the goat. She put that in the book. That's in the book. She was like, yeah. This is a very good example of how you need to get your hands dirty. Politics is about
in my
being
brain
tough.
right now. It's in my brain right now is like you have a child and it's on the mental capacity of a goat because it's so young, and it's just like, hi mom, what are you? Boom! Ah, it hurts! It hurts! And
She
then
also,
you shoot it
it's
again.
crazier because she also includes in the book the detail that her child came home and was like, oh, where's the dog?
That
like-
child's not going to be okay.
I don't think any Republican child is ever truly going to
Yeah,
be okay.
there's
like,
gotta-
there's so many that are like, yo, you're all the, like, there's like people who go to like, the people I went to school with at Radford or like some of the old Miss Party stuff where they still do like the Confederate flag, like Klansman Sig Heil bullshit
That's
on campus.
Fucking
Yeah.
weird.
And they don't get suspended. Like, I look at those people and I'm like, these people aren't going to be normal. They're never going to be normal. All those people are going to be my coworkers
Well,
in,
it's
in
like-
a few years. They're going to be insane. They're going to be talking about China, the secret Chinese operatives controlling crossing the border.
It's just weird because like
They're
your
putting
entire
gay frog juice inside of Mountain Dew.
Your entire
RuPaul was on a Cheez-It box. The West has fallen.
like your entire personality at that point is literally revolvent around hating a group of people, and it's not like somebody who has power over you. It's someone who's just living. It's like they can't like I hate the gays.
There is
and then
one
you
more
go to some
black person in this Marvel movie than there were Marvel movies 5 years ago. The West has fallen.
It's like there's an important
Get over
semantical difference between like someone hating all like CEOs and then somebody hating all gay people.
where are all these Chinaman
what
movies
is-
coming from? Why are they on my Netflix? This didn't happen 10 years ago. It definitely happened 10 years ago.
You know,
Chinese direct
I ha-
DVD features were popular 10, 20 years ago. Literally, I used to buy those shits cheaply on DVDs at the mall all the goddamn time.
I mean,
people are just crazy.
They're not going to be normal people, but like at the same time, like
There's a certain point where it's like you can definitely tell these people, they're like, you listen to a conservative talking in like a certain environments and you kind of think to yourself, yeah, that was really up. Yesterday there was a conversation that I had with my coworkers where they're like talking about getting beaten by their parents, and they're like, oh yeah, we got to get a poll going, and they like turned to my coworker. She's like, no, my dad didn't do any of that. It's like, well, how did you and your parent, you and yours turn out? And she's like, fine, I'm here, aren't I? Like, what? I didn't. There's nothing wrong with me.
I unfortunately work the same job as you.
well,
So I guess
oh
you
my
could.
God, like she has like 2 kids. She's like successful. She owns her own house. Like what?
like
She didn't get. Oh man, her dad didn't beat the out of her every day. Oh shit,
I had
yeah.
this-
What the end of the world? And they turn to me and they're like, "What about you, Riley?" I'm like, yeah, I got spanked like once or twice, but I didn't like. They didn't beat me. Like I didn't need to. Like what? What the
Yeah.
fuck is with you? Like
Yeah.
what? Yeah, he's like, and they were very jokingly like, "Ha we were abused," and then I could see in their eyes just like they're kind of, it's just kind of clicking to them.
just
Oh,
here,
I was abused.
here, hold on.
Oh,
You keep being
no.
you keep being that monologue. I'm gonna be the backdrop for it. Keep going. So just like just look off into the distance. I can be your bodyguard. You can be that
It's like
long.
wrapped the cord around my neck. It's like
Paul Simon
I-
playing
I
in the
don't-
background. I can be your
I'm never gonna dance again.
Yeah, that'd be crazy to
Yeah, they
go out
tried
to
to kill
George Michael. Going out to George Michael. would
Oh,
be-
dude, there's this one really bad piece of fiction that I read online ages ago. This dude is like writing like this family drama or something like that, and there's a bit where the dad himself and he describes the song that's playing, and for the longest time I was like, I didn't know what the song was. I was like a child or whatever. I was reading this, man, this is a dog shit piece of fiction. What fucking melodramatic piece of shit this is. And then like 5-10 years down the line, I hear another song or whatever, and I'm like, wow, that's a cool song. What was the name of that song? And it is it was You May Be Right.
Yeah.
You know, you may be right, I may be crazy. I just must be a lunatic. That was a song that the father themselves to in this melodrama writing. And I was like,
crazy.
it was like a flashback, and that entire piece of short fiction
Hey.
I wrote was ruined for. I'm like,
Hey, call me.
hey yo,
Hey, call me crazy, but like sometimes I hear a song and I'm like, that would be a good one.
yeah, go out, dude. That'd be crazy
good-
to go.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. to go
Applause
out
by
to.
Lady Gaga, but like you you do like you
Oh my!
yourself by carbon monoxide
What's-
poisoning in your car.
What's that Too Short song? Do you know it? It goes on and on. Can't understand how it lasts so long. I must have superpowers. Last 255,000, whatever it is, 1,000 hours. That would be crazy to go out to. Imagine walking in. This is the darkest bit. Imagine walking into somebody's room and it's just Too Short on loop.
Many Men by 50 Cent.
Oh shit. Oh.
Okay, all right.
I think that's good, huh? I'm good at that. How many minutes is this?